As the dust settles on the Munich Security Conference, Europe was left caught off guard by US announcements concerning the war in Ukraine.
Thousands protest outside the Munich Security Conference venue demanding politicians prioritize peace over war. A 2-year-old girl and her mother have died 2 days after they were critically injured in the Munich car ramming attack.
1 year after the death of Alexei Navalny, the Russian opposition is struggling to find a new leader.
European leaders were left caught off guard by the recent actions of the Trump administration concerning the ongoing war in Ukraine and European defence. They're set to meet in Paris to address the uncertainty and find a solution to their growing concerns about being pushed out of the peace process.
The message from Munich is clear. Europe is not nice to have, Europe is a must-have. President Macron is preparing for a European leaders meeting for an emergency summit tomorrow in Paris. We Europeans need a plan for peace on our continent.
The US announced they will meet with Russian officials in Saudi Arabia in the coming days to start talks aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. However, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine wasn't invited to the talks, with fears growing of jeopardized Ukrainian sovereignty and weakened European security.
Thousands of protesters demonstrated against the Munich Security Conference in Germany, calling on politicians to prioritize peace over war. Demonstrators rallied against NATO, the arms industry, and further weapons deliveries to Ukraine, which has been fending off Russian aggression for almost 3 years. Protesters also voiced their objection to the planned stationing of US medium-range missiles in Germany from 2026. Some 5,000 police officers were reportedly deployed to secure the vicinity. Police sources say more than 2,500 protesters participated in the rallies, adding that there were no incidents or violence. They also say that the turnout was lower than anticipated, and say Thursday's vehicle ramming attack against a protest in the city may have impacted that. A separate protest also took place in support of Ukraine. Participants of that protest urged politicians to continue financially and militarily supporting Kyiv in its fight against Moscow. A 2-year-old girl and her mother have died 2 days after they were injured in the car ramming attack on a union protest in the German city of Munich. On Thursday, a 24-year-old Afghan national was immediately arrested after driving a car into a crowd of people. Authorities said at the time that 39 people were injured, 2 of which were in critical condition. Prosecutors say the Afghan man appears to have had an Islamic extremist motive, but no evidence pointed towards his involvement with any radical networks. It was the 5th in a string of attacks involving immigrants over the past 9 months in Germany. It also came just over a week before the country holds its federal elections, with immigration being one of the forefront issues. Immigration debates have paved the way for Germany's far right to make significant gains politically. The Alternative for Germany party, which promises to crack down on immigration, is currently projected to win around 20% of next week's vote.
A year ago today, news came that Alexei Navalny had died in a penal colony in the Arctic, and it turned out to be a big blow to Russia's opposition movement. In a statement on Sunday, EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs Kaja Kallas said, quote, Alexei Navalny gave his life for a free and democratic Russia. And since his death, the opposition has struggled to take on President Vladimir Putin. Without its fiercest foe, it's failed to form a united front and a clear plan of action against the Kremlin. Instead, rival groups have traded accusations that some see as efforts to discredit each other and vie for influence. Navalny wasn't the first opposition leader whose sudden death shocked both Russia and the world. In February 2015, prominent politician Boris Nemtsov was gunned down on a bridge near the Kremlin.